Hello, welcome back. This will be the second video in the series of 3 videos of me painting my bird on my mug, and I hope you enjoy. Right, but see, under here is quite browny grey, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this colour down first, all on his throat. Wow, this brush is so fine. All in his throat. Immediately and very quickly go back to wherever I had this blue-grey. These colours absorb and dry so fast. Just with the tip, just want to go in like that. To the naked eye, it will read yellow. From the distance, it will read yellow. For me, close up, it's reading grey, but it's shadowed. You want it to look realistic. Now over the back of the head where I put that yellow and I said I was going to go back, I'm going back into this deeper purple. I'm going to pick up some of that, quite a lot of that actually, in my brush, load it up, make sure that all the belly of that brush is full of that purple, so it can almost, if you pick it up, it would drip out if it was a bigger brush, and then I'm going to put it straight into the white like that. And I'm going to start here because that's where I want it widest, and bring it out here. See how it's dark there? I'm not going high. I want to go up into here. From the bill, which I'm going to add a bit to in a moment, around here, because that's actually a round eye, all down the back of that head. Right here behind the eye, I want pure white, and I'll explain why in a minute. I'm just going to pick up the teensiest dab on the end and just put it there. Now, even for me, that's hard to see. And I want that to dry off before I do the eye itself. I'll go back to the beak. The top of the beak is quite pale grey, so I've got a nice grey, nice purpled off grey here mixed. So the top of that beak is not black, it's grey. So over that beak, I'm doing down the top here to actually be grey. Always remember, don't make it a harsh line. Bring it down in feathery strokes, right down into the head and over the back of the neck. Feather, feather, and then here, a little darker on the top and down here. A little around the eye. And a little down there. It also comes right down here. These are the bits that are going to add the life. It doesn't have to be exact, because this bird is not carved into life. And that there is black, but I don't want to start with black. Start with dark grey, although to your eye it may look black. Bring it along the top of that wing, flick it out. I want that depth. And I want that because the wing, actually the bone of the wing comes down around there a bit. And I want it to differentiate from these up here, which I'm going to refine just a little more with that darker colour. Just for the armour. Now I'm going in with black, pitch black. I'm going to add just little tiny dash strokes of black through. And just flick it kind of down, better off the edge of that there. And down here. Just going to need a little bit more colour in a moment. And a bit of that dark grey up there. And marry it in. It's not so much colour as shadow, so I'm going to bring it down there. Bring this shadow in under here to add form. A lot more to this bird than it looks to the eye, naked eye, isn't it? And I want that throat bit. Add a little bit more depth to this grey. A little darker grey around his head. This is where the drama's going to be. This is where you want your eye to go to. And why I left that white there before is for this reason. We'll get pure black and just feather it down there. Don't make it too round. And over the top, up down, little tiny, little feathers. So sorry if the camera angle changed. Darling hubby decided to mow right beside me. Never mind. I just want to put in his eye for you. So dip it into this most vibrant red I own. Make sure there's not too much. You can't go back with this if you muck it up. And quite a bit of this to show up. So we're on the side of inside the eye rather than, as I've just done, outside the eye. That's alright, I showed you before how to correct that. I'm going to wait for it to dry. Take that tiny bit off from down there. I will wait a second or two for that to dry. While I'm doing that, I'll add some drama down here. Oh, there he goes. Hard to get good help. So we'll start with the dark grey down here. Again, I don't want it all dark, I just want to feather that in. Because you don't want a harsh colouring in little line there. You do want it to come up there a little bit and define his back. And then I'm going to go right down here, going with that darkest of dark greys. See that tail there? It's got a little bit of black down there. There's a guy knocking a tree down over there, just over there too. It's all happening today, people, but once you start, you have to continue. So now, pure black for drama. Sit up here for me. Pure black for drama. And whoa, we don't want that. Just a bit down there. So it looks like feathers. A little bit of black, or actually the dark grey would be good under here. See these bits here? I want that bit there feathery. Put these bits in first. Just, sorry, like this. Just feathery little bits like that. Less is more. Building is better than slapping it on. Always remember, adding is much easier than subtracting. And just up in here, where the wing comes away under the block, really fine that like this. And to that, we'll go into pure black, very tiny amount on it. Just a little bit under there. Tiny bit in there. Just down there. Now that eye, again, dab on the end. Right in the middle. There you have it. Doesn't that add life? It's magical when you add those little touches. I'm not going to touch that eye now. What I am going to do is take that dark grey, closer to the red now, I've got it in there. Not 100% up to it, up the top, but right up to it down the bottom. Give it that more elongated title and not under here. Up along here, I want to come under that beak again with the black. Bring it down. Put a ridge there from the carving. Okay. Now, I'm going to come back to this tomorrow, or whenever I come back to it, doesn't matter when, because the pot's dry now, and I will come back to it with a fresh pair of eyes, put some more into it. But what I'm going to do now is bring the bird out from the background, and to do that I want to mix this mauvey blue that I've got down here, this very watery purpley colour down here, and that's what I want, as watery as I can possibly get it. Just keep adding water until I've got quite a puddle. That's what I want. What I'm going to do now, an old dry clay, but I'm not adding a lot of water, but this you have to do fast. So I'm going to dip the brush, tap off the extra, and very carefully bring that down along the bird. Bring it to a point right into that foot, right out there. Dip back in the water and then back in that, and then take it around the bird, down into there, around here, and while it's wet, rinse it out and do that. That will I'm going to add the blossoms, a little bit of suggestion of the blossoms later, but not today. See how I've lost that? That's fine. I'll get that back with a paler colour later. And do this in sections. Don't do round the whole bird and then go back, because you don't want this clay to be wet for very long. So in around the feet, load the brush up with water, dip it into there. There's very much a watercolour effect. Down here, remember that that's white down in front of there. Take it out and around. Do down around here first. This isn't a lot of water I'm putting on, but it's very much not a lot of colour either, because I want to fade it out. And if I want to do more of that, I'll do it after it's bisqued. So just tipping that bird up, lots of water, just tap that off, put it in there. And I am going to add to this later, I always do, but right now I'm just wanting to bring it out, and I'll need this to dry completely, because I will not do this again to the mug. This is all I'll put on it. If I add anything else to it, I'll do it after bisque, because otherwise you're breaking the clay down, aren't you? And that is, see that clay that's just sitting there? That's not what I want. Cutting in around those feathers. Take a brush, work it into the clay if I have to. But I want it, bend it out. That's alright, I don't mind that mottled effect. That's fine. Last little bit. You also don't want to shift the clay and destroy your design and your outline doing this either. So you don't want to put a lot of water on, because it'll just dissolve the clay. I can do that later. Like I said, I'm going to put the flowers in there, so that's fine. Just don't want a harsh line. So thank you for joining me for that video, and the third one will be uploaded very soon. So I do hope you learned something from them, and I'll see you on the next video.